Want to touch on something that I know, well, we have a lot of people moving to Colorado. I can tell you we've got 5 people moving every day into Douglas County. Many of them are coming from other parts of the country. Can you tell us about this crazy thing we do here in Colorado called prior appropriation water law?
Sure, it's simple. It's the same way you get your seats at concerts, right? The first one that
First
goes
one there gets
the best seat, and if you can't afford it, you buy one back further, and that's what you do. Water is the same way. It's that first in time, first in right. It has that sense of fairness. The first ones to go to the stream get that right, and they're the ones that are the last one in is the first one out. When there's the times of shortage. So, and that becomes somewhat of the problem when you have, even cities like Aurora, and that didn't develop its own water utility until the 1950s. And so for the first, Aurora was founded in 1890, took 60 years before they were a distributor of Denver water in essence for that whole period of time. So now when you come in 1950 on the South Platte River and try to acquire water, you're too late, way too late. The swing date on kind of the good water right, not good water right on the South Platte is 1885.
Wow.
1885. And that's the Burlington Ditch Head Gate just down below the metro area. If you're not senior to that, your supply is going to have a lot of years you're not going to get water.
And so senior to that, so then just
early.
a little bit of tutorial here for some of the folks who may not know this because they lived out of state or they've just always lived within the Denver metro area. Senior water rights, junior water rights, secondary. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so senior doesn't mean that older people like us get water first, but that's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be,
yeah,
exactly.
Because we're the ones that get thirsty and we can't carry around, have a harder time getting to water.
It's all the kids that have the bottles anyhow.
Exactly, they all carry the water bottles around with them and they can't go anywhere without a water bottle.
That's right, that's right. Which is very helpful as a Boy Scout leader, but it's a little odd on a college campus to say.
Exactly. So senior water rights just means that if there's only a certain amount of water in the river and you were there first, so you could use that. You're called a senior water right. You got there first, and as long as there's enough flow in the river to satisfy your appropriation there, it's fine. But now if there's less water in there and you've got a demand that's this, first off, you can't take more than is in the stream, can you? No, you can't. So you get as much as you can take, but if there's a whole, and the typical case is that you'll have a stream flow that's this big and you have a lot of little folks that are taking water for irrigation or different purposes. And almost all of our senior water rights, by the way, are agricultural water rights. Why is that? Well, the reason is that in the early days, I mean, we actually didn't even hardly have centralized water systems back then. We didn't start fully chlorinating our water till 1949 throughout the United States. So the idea being that municipal use really wasn't that big a deal, and we weren't really using that much water. So the agricultural water rights are really, and the mining rights also prior to that acquired those rights. Those are senior water rights. They were the first ones to get in there. First it was kind of mining, then it was, we need to grow crops to feed the miners. So we need to irrigate in order to do that, especially around Greeley, which is kind of where it all started on the Platte. And so we needed we needed hay for the horses and the ox and everything. It's moving things around. And so that was, we had the mining rights, then you had the agricultural rights, and then the municipal rights are really kind of at the back end of the bus.
Right, right. Well, and then we heard a couple sessions here this week talking about, well, what about recreational uses? Mm-hmm. And we heard they're even further down. We heard from a lovely young lady out of Grand Junction about the importance of maintaining the Colorado River for kayaking.
Yes.
And there is definitely that need, but then there's all these other things set by law that come before it here in Colorado.